Let's see if I can get some links. Oh, it's got my old streaming logo on. Cool. See if I can change that really quickly. All right, I guess not. What's up, Kira? How you doing? Trying to figure out why my thumbnail's all weird. That's okay. So Marcel, you are very welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm just gonna be hanging out, messing with Redshift and XParticles and seeing what I can break. I'm really digging some of this new OpenVDB stuff. And also some of the new like sim stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure you are all interested in OpenVDB and explosions and stuff. So, I can show that. You do have to cache it and export it to get it to work. So it's not quite 100% one-on-one, one-to-one live, I mean. But really, yeah, I'm just going to kind of play around and see what we can do. It looks pretty good from what I've seen. I've only gotten maybe 3 hours into it so far. Let's see. I think I'm going to start with doing just some VDB experiments. I'll let people know I am live as well. All right, let's see what we can get going. Oh yeah. So one thing I've noticed that's really kind of obnoxious with the VDB thing is you have to click off of it to see it, and then you have to go back in to make your adjustments and click off of it. The way I've kind of combated that is by locking it. Go lock, then clicking off, and then making the adjustments. It's pretty stupid. I hope they fix that. But really fast, can make some cool stuff really quickly. Some people are saying that the normals are backwards, so if you try and throw like a subsurface scatter type deal on here, it doesn't come together very nicely. So let me just show that off too. HDR link. I'll unlock this. Or other way around. There we go. It's fine there. All right. Don't need the background. So it looks fine like this, but then if you go in and you start messing around with not OpenVDB, but subsurface scattering, it gets kind of funky. So I guess we'll try it here. That, bring up some of this. Try like a pink. So you can kind of see it showing up in there. If I scale it up, it starts to happen. I'll scale up the scatter too, but it just kind of gives this more thick, opaque look. So that's just with the standard subsurface. Just reset these to default. And then multi-subsurface. Let's see if I can get something out of it. Haven't changed it. Why am I not getting any? So yeah, maybe this is what people are talking about. This is like you can kind of see it in there a little bit, but not really. See if I go up to like 1,000. So, am I using a free version of XParticles4? No, I paid for this. This is a real version. I pay for all my stuff because I have a legitimate LLC and I can't risk that. Let's say I'll do like a skin material and throw that on. You'll see like we kind of get a little bit in there. And if I throw a light behind it, or even beside it, like you can kind of see there's some subsurface scattering happening, but it's just really heavy. And let me open this up. Bring this back down, and it just doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. So even if I go up to say 5,000 and I adjust these radius or radii here, like you kind of get some adjustments, but not really. I know you can, if you turn on buckets, it's supposed to be better, but you should still be able to preview it a little bit. So if I bring this back down, it makes adjustments. It's just really thick. Like it shouldn't be this thick. You know, let me go back down to say 50, see if it helps at all. Like it does, but it doesn't. So reach. I'm not rich by any means. I bought 3 however many years ago, maybe it was 3.5 when it came out. So the upgrade wasn't that much. Plus they gave a bonus discount if you're upgrading. So that helps too. But yeah, I wish I could blame it on it like being a hacked version. Like that's why it's not working, or you know, something like that. But it's just kind of how it is. Somebody said that they were able to reverse the normals using, what is it, PY parametric, and I've tried that with like the reverse normals modifier, but I haven't gotten it to work really. Like, see, it gets kind of smoky, so I guess, I mean, it's kind of working. But I think because of how the VDB's created, it's not working as well as it could. So that's a little better. So yeah, all right. I think most people probably want to see just the general fire explosion VDB stuff and how to get that to work. It's really like everything else. Let me go in here, get Explosia. Gotta turn this off because it's not gonna matter. Don't really need the area light anymore. What's up? Is that Matt or Dave? Got a notification too. don't know where it's coming from. All right, whatever. What's up, Matt? So, all right, emitter. Good. All right. I need to get an object. I don't actually need that at the moment, but that's okay. I'll leave it there. And I think I have to throw a tag on the object. Should do it. There we go. I don't need the emitter. It's not like old XParticles. So relatively fast. It's kind of like having a little mini Houdini in your pocket. It's pretty awesome. I like that they've got all this adaptive stuff going on too. You can see that it hits the ceiling there. So we go in here and turn that off. Play again, it should keep going. And the voxel size isn't that small at the moment either. It's just like at 3. If you remember from XParticles 3.5, you used to have to crank it down pretty small to get any kind of decent looking thing. So this is pretty good. And then under here, there's even more controls. So slices and resolution. You can just have like 16 slices. I like doing doubles. You can see it thins it out so it plays back faster. Hey, what's up, Grant? Yeah, man, it's like all the pyro and fluid stuff from Houdini, or like a basic Houdini. So like if Houdini had a broadcast version, it's like a broadcast version of Houdini where you only get so much out of it, but it's also kind of the best stuff out of it too at the same time. It's hard to explain. I really like that there is now this data area. Where is it? Somebody was telling me about it the other day. Yeah, so you have like a data exporter and importer, but then there's also is it the console? Yeah. So now you can get all your data information, and I don't have an emitter going. So if you throw the emitter in here and you let it run, which is probably going to freak out. There we go. If I pause it, so you get age information and all their IDs just like you would in Houdini, which is so awesome. So now you can actually have questions and answers and modifiers based on this data here. And then you can also choose all this information you want to have at your fingertips. So group ID, and then group ID, age and lifespan and all that. It's really great. And then you can filter those particles. So if you want some that are only between ages this and that, it's just really awesome. So if anyone's ever worked in Houdini, you'll know that Houdini is really data driven. Yeah, pretty cool, Grant. And by data driven, I mean you can find like the age and identifier of everything and every polygon and vertex and normal and things like that. So it's great to kind of see this in here because we don't really get that in Cinema, which makes it kind of hard to do some things. So like using a cloner would be really great to just be able to turn on which ID it is that we're trying to select instead of, going into MoGraph and then selection and trying to figure it out and all that. So anyway, we're gonna kill that. All right, so I'm just gonna do a really lightweight solve for this. I think I'm gonna increase the max here to say 500 just to give it some height. And then I'm gonna do a quick export to show how to bring it back in and start applying textures to it. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to get a cache. If you just hold Shift C, do cache, because I always forget where it is in the modifiers. There we go. So now we have all these particle formats, which is really awesome, especially Grant, if you're still watching. You can now export as BGO and regular geo. So you can swap between Houdini now. So if you do a particle sim in Houdini, you can load up that folder, change this to BGO, bring it in, and XParticles will start reading it. Down here under EXF format, you want to do OpenBDB. And let's make a new folder of live stream. Perfect. All right, and I think I'm going to just limit this at 30 frames. We'll build the cache really quick, just something simple, so you can see. So that's really dirty. Yeah, that is crazy. So yeah, it's going to make life a lot easier for a lot of people. You don't have to bake out to Alembic anymore. You just do a BGO. I've heard some people say that it's not carrying over like color data and stuff because, like a color attribute in Houdini is going to be at CD, and XParticles isn't going to read that. So you need to switch it to just color. So you just have to do a custom attribute, things like that. But that will get sorted out over time, and I'm sure through lots of tutorials. All right, so once we've got our cache and it bakes it out, this is going to look really bad and voxelized, but just to give you an idea of how it works, do Redshift volume. And if you've watched my Redshift tutorial, you'll be able to pretty much know what we're doing next. And I'm going to go into my cache, XP cache. Where is live stream? There's that. So you see all these VDBs here. I'm going to turn off this object and turn off this. Go to animation. We'll turn on just ping pong. Select frames. I've got 24. All right. So Redshift material, volume. You know what I didn't check? Better make sure that I actually had density and stuff in here. Okay, yep. Okay, so we've got density, fuel, and heat, and we're going to put this on our volume here. I'm going to move it out of the XP system. And in our material, under scatter, we can do density. And under emission, I think, what was it, heat or temperature that did? We'll do heat, yeah, maybe it's fuel that I want. When it comes in from Houdini, you usually do temperature, at least that's what I do, but we'll do fuel. And under Explosia, I'm going to grab the fuel color here and just copy it so it's a one-to-one relationship. And we will do paste. Now we get all of our colors. I'll hit play. And you'll see nothing shows up there. That's because I don't have any points turned on to show it. And there's our big explosion. So like I said, it's going to look really bad at first. One, because I didn't do a really high quality render. And two, I definitely noticed more so than with Houdini, you kind of have to play with this. Maybe let me try heat. Maybe heat will be better. There we go. So you can see it gets all this voxelization around it, and I'm still working on how to clean that up. Even if I do a super high quality render, still get all these crazy cubes around the edge. But that's the gist of it. It's really baking it out to a cache and then bringing in that cache. Where'd you go? I guess I want advanced. There we go. All right. You can start to play with the min and max. It doesn't seem to have that big of a difference for helping the voxelization. Even if I go and drag this out, you see even more voxels up here and there. If I drag this out, kind of gets cleaned up a little bit, but then down here doesn't. So it's going to be a game, and like to show you the difference, I'll just go get one of Mitch's VDBs. And smoke. Mitch has. Yeah, I think it's just going to be density. Put that out. Have to bring in a light. I did choose the VDB, right? Why isn't there a density with that? Let me see. All right, there we go. Where am I from? I am kind of from all over, but I currently reside a little north of Baltimore in Maryland. Am I just not remembering this correctly? Do I have to turn on contribution? I guess I do. No? Do I just need to scale this up? Oh. 5 by 5 by 5. 50 by 50 by 50. There we go. Starting to show up a little bit. Just small. So, all right, let me bring up this light, and on the dome light, I'll add some contribution as well. Ukraine, that's crazy. What time is it there? It's got to be like what, 1 a.m. there, I'm guessing. Close. So this is from Mitch Meyer's VDB pack, and you can see how clean it is. I've rendered stuff out of Houdini, or solved stuff out of Houdini, and it comes in pretty clean like this. So it's just something we're gonna have to learn. What's up, Mark? Hey, Mark, so you will 2200, so what is that, 10 a.m.? Or I mean 10 p.m. So Mark, I gotta show you this. I was just talking to Grant about this. And you will like this. Under other objects, you'll see there's data exporter and importer, which is great. But right above it, console, there's now new data information. And if I create an emitter, throw the emitter in here, get that. I'm gonna have to play a little bit first. Get active emitter. Oh, that's particle group. Why am I selected on that? There we go. It's like mini Houdini, dude. Look at all this. You get age, can come in here, density, color, direction, distance, all this stuff, come back in. Maybe I have to play it again. And you can start getting this kind of information out of XParticles now, just like you would with Houdini. It's awesome. Which means you can have modifiers like that too. Data to display. Oh, there we go. Yeah, attribute spreadsheet. Totally, man. Now we just needed like attribute VOPs and stuff. But when you start learning, you'll have all this information just like you're used to. Won't be all the same name, but it'll be close. Yeah, so I guess if anyone has played with XParticles more than I have for 2 hours and knows how to get a cleaner render, that would be awesome, because I really like how fast this is. If I clean this up a little bit, I can go back to 500. I still have it cached. Blah. Kill the cache. Why are you not playing? Do I need to turn the object back on? Did I delete that on accident? It's just because it's off? It's because it was off. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty fast. And then if I start adjusting some of these parameters or these ones, and let me go back to say 64 and 128, even 1024, which hopefully doesn't freak out the system. I've noticed that it seems like if I adjust these display settings, it has nothing to do with my export, which is really strange. Yeah, I know. XP is expensive, especially getting a brand new license. Like I was saying earlier, I got it when it was, I think, XP3 or XP 3.5 when it was like just announced or released. Because I think it was 3.5, and it wasn't that expensive. I think at the time it was only $300 or something. That was for a brand new license, and it was this time of year, holiday season. And then now I think it converts to like $700 American or something crazy. Did you use Turbulence FD? I never used Turbulence FD, so I don't really have anything to compare to. The only other thing that I've used for VDB sims is Houdini. So I'm sure it works very similarly. I've heard that XParticles is maybe faster, just because it can take advantage of certain things that Turbulence FD can't. Like I said, I'm kind of just speaking from hearsay when I'm reading in Slack groups and things like that. If I go down to say 1 centimeter, make this really heavy. Maybe that's what I just need to do. I just need to make them smaller. But even in there, I can kind of still see voxelization. If I go back up to 512. Of course, this isn't rendering in real time. I think one thing that TFD has over XParticles at the moment is if I go into the volume mat and click on this little thing here, is we get a Turbulence FD drop down for density and temperature and fuel and all that. So I think you can bring in TFD information live, while I just had to bake this out to OpenVDB first before we could get it. So I'm hoping that means that they can do the same thing for XParticles. And as fast as the Redshift team works, I bet something will be up pretty quickly. Man, my watch keeps going off. So yeah, that gets pretty clean, but that's about it. I don't know what to do from here when I export to make it any cleaner. So I'm going to just do some more playing. So one thing that I've noticed that seems to be a lot faster is viscosity and like follow trails and things like that. So if I create a helix here and bring this down, and we use like the new Spline flow, bring in our helix. See, we get all these rings around here, and if I hit play, the particles start following those rings automatically, which is really great. Used to be kind of a pain in the butt to set up. But you can throw turbulence and viscosity on here too, and it still seems to be really pretty fast. So if I go in here and throw turbulence on and hit play, I think I need to bring my emitter size down to like 5. So you can see it tries to follow the shape of the helix, even though it kind of gets off track a little bit. I just don't have my follow and along and towards high enough, or attraction high enough either. But usually, at least for 3.5, turbulence used to bring my system down pretty slow, and it seems like now it's still holding up pretty well. Do everyone's favorite curl, and it still goes along pretty fast. This is emitting and doing all the other calculations as well. See, it's trying to follow the trail or the spline. It seems like Redshift tags still hold up really well too. So if I go in here and do sphere instances and hit play, nothing's changed about that. They just start showing up as you would expect. Get some cool look dev results really quickly. That's one thing I'd love to hear about, is if anyone else has been using it and has noticed any speed increases. Of course, Kira, like you're saying, if it's out of your price range because of how expensive it's gotten now for a fresh license, you probably can't answer that. What else? Viscosity was the other thing I said. So if I just add in some, or vorticity, viscosity, same thing. Not exactly the same thing, but for what I was trying to talk about. You've only been able to test the VDB mesher. Yeah, you know, that's the first thing I did as soon as I downloaded it, was test the VDB mesher. And man, I love it. It's great. I was saying earlier, I'm not sure how early you came in, Grant, about how the normals are backwards. So somebody found a fix by using PY parametric tools and throwing in a reverse normals modifier, and it seems to work kind of if you're doing subsurface scattering on it, but not 100%. At least in my opinion, it doesn't seem 100%. Yeah, it does. Well, sort of. I know what you're saying. So kind of, it's a little misleading. And when I've watched the video too, it, for the Boolean cutouts, is it like it's there, but it's not there. Like seems like they're missing a feature or two. Let me rewind this. All right, so pause. I'm gonna do that right now. Where's OpenVDB? I'm not sure. All right, so if I take do a torus and a sphere, oh yeah, no, that like that's the whole like mini VDB or mini Houdini comment I was making, whereas like you get a lot of good stuff out of it, but there's little things like that, and like finessing the connections aren't quite there either. So if I throw this in here and I'm gonna lock this. All right, so yeah, like you were saying, like you kind of can do it, but not really. So if I do this, and I'll do like intersection. Guess I'm gonna have to turn these off. Oh, why? Union. Oh my goodness. So many emails at 3 o'clock. Intersection. So there we go. You kind of can see that, but you're right. It doesn't have the same control and combine features. So if I pull this back out, you can kind of do it. Yeah, but it's still missing some stuff. Like you can do this and then say like difference. I just click on it here. So before, no, hold on. Let me remake the VDB mesh because I don't think it's going to go away now that I clicked on it. XParticles, generator, VDB, mesh, click, unlock. Throw the torus in and the sphere. And I'll relock that. And then if I click on the sphere, it just appears. Or if I click on the torus, so then under sphere, I can do difference. Yeah, it took me a couple hours to figure that out because I kept going into filters and trying it. Like, all right, that doesn't do crap. So if I throw like Gaussian in here, like some of this helps clean it up and everything, and you get some pretty cool looking stuff, and you can just do a lot really quickly. But there's some like refining things. So if I do like half width down here, it gets some more detail out of it, and you can kind of do some cool dissolve stuff. Bring this back up. Even here, I need to get some refinement. Now get some cool stuff. If I go back up to, let's try like 8, that's looking pretty good. Simple, clean geometry. But at the same time, I want to be able to clean it up even more. Like if I have something more complex than this, it doesn't seem to hold up very well, especially text. Let me bring in a model. Let's see. Do the heart. And we'll just throw it in a connect. All right, so I take these out and I throw this in here. Turn it off. I go down to say 2. Like it's there, but I feel like at this level it should be getting everything for the heart. So here's what the heart should look like. There's where it is afterwards. You can control like these half width things. I go down to 1, kind of start to get it. I can bring down the point radius a bit. It kind of gets it. I can try it with spheres. You can see it fills up with spheres. If I click on this here and do points instead, it kind of helps. But you still are missing some detail. So, I mean, there's a lot that I like about it, especially for doing like some really nice organic blobby things. But I want even more out of it. If I turn those off, you can start to see the veins that are supposed to be there. I think I might have to turn this off to be able to see it. So there's supposed to be veins there. When I turn it back on, yeah, you can't dilate or expand per video. Yeah, so the only thing that's close to dilating or expanding is really just like scaling the actual object, which that doesn't do it the way you should be doing it. So if I scale down, let me scale this down. All right, I'm going to turn off VDB mesh for a second, turn heart on and the torus on. We'll try again in a second. So if I do this, bring this in here. All right, man, take it easy, Grant. do not difference on this one. On the torus, want difference. You can see you get like really cool bools really quickly. But if you want to add any more detail in there than this is starting to be where you can, like, as high as you can get it at the moment. Now I'll bring my voxel size down to 0.5. It's going to get heavy. And you can see we get these like cool skin wrinkles in there. And like half width, bring this down some more. I guess kind of... So a lot of cool stuff to do. Not quite there yet. Let's bring our point radius down to 1. And we get these cool like organic blobbies, almost like metaballs a bit, which is kind of cool looking, I guess. I can increase the minimum point radius and get a little bit more detail out of it. So that's kind of looking cool. Throw this back on there. Do a quick render. Let's see, what is it? 3:15 about. So probably gonna stay on for about 5 or 10 more minutes, and then I gotta get my kids from school. So there's that, and then what were we saying? PY reverse normals. See if that helps out. Subsurface scattering's going. It says it's going at least. So yeah, I guess it kind of helps out to throw that modifier in there. I feel like I've gotten better looking results though. So that's that for OpenVDB. Yeah, OpenVDB mesh. Doot. From what I understand, if you're using Octane, it's pretty much the same thing at the moment, where you have to export VDBs for any of the fire stuff before you can use it. Let's see. Thanks, eBay. Oh man, okay, so cloth. Maybe I'll walk through cloth really quickly because that's pretty cool. Let's do a capsule and we'll set it to Z. That. Get a plane. No, I want to be in the capsule first. All right, so we're going to add from our libraries an XP effects or cloth effects tag, and we're going to just put that there. Should have given us a collider. Maybe I just have to do a regular XP collider. I thought it was a special cloth collider. All right, we'll just do a regular collider. All right, here we're going to do XParticles, dynamic objects, cloth, and cloth modifier. Actually, no, I want create cloth. I need to have that selected. There we go. All right, so if I hit play, there we go. Like instant cloth. Just, I don't feel like it's ever been that easy in standard C4D. Probably even lower that to 90. And then in our deformer, we can start doing some other cool stuff like tearing. Might be too strong for tearing. Yeah. If I go back and let's do a vertex map. I need to convert that, don't I? All right, vertex map. Come into our cloth deformer, tearing. Use our vertex map in here. It'll only tear where the map is or supposed to. Clearly, I need more time with this, but let me wait for collision, see if that helps. That should be tearing already. Come on. Do I not need the cloth deformer on there? Let's put a cloth tag, tearing map. I swore that's how it was when I watched the video and did it. Oh well. So yeah, just messing around. Nothing too crazy that I've experienced yet, but at least you kind of know how to get fire and smoke out. See if there's anything else that's specific that I can show you regarding Redshift in this. So auto, no, spline, that's all the same. Trails are the same. I think that's pretty much it. Deformer groups, trail deformer, blah, blah. I think that's about it. Like, I mean, there's strange attractors, which everyone seems to be in love with. I can show you guys that. I'm just gonna clear these out and start a new XParticle group, or system, I mean. So strange emitters are really fun. Is it Redshift enough? Should we buy? I mean, you can buy whatever you want. I mean, it's integrated into Redshift as much as it was. There's little things that seem faster when I go to render it, and seems like there's some other things that are a little bit backwards at the moment. I do like that too. I like that the videos are all right there too now. Like it's all one unified place. The manual too has been updated and it's really nice looking. You can work your way through it. So what was I gonna do? Modifiers, strange effectors, because that's fun. It's one of the new ones. But yeah, should you get cycles? I mean, you can get cycles. I have cycles. I've had it for a while. I haven't used it in probably 2 years. Just because I've been using Octane and then Arnold and now Redshift. Strange effect or attractors. There we go. All right, so strange attractors, if you haven't used this yet, is you can do some like organic looking moves very easily based on this effector right there. Or attractor. I don't know why I keep saying effector. Let's try 600 frames. But to show you, yeah, is it Redshift enough? Or is it working with Redshift? Yeah, if I show or throw a tag on here, it's the same stuff. So point instances, hit play, bucket rendering turned on, turn that off. So it's just as fast as it was. Even if I hit play right now, you know, it'll undersample and keep up. you can definitely do some stuff with color data and information right now. So if I go and make just a normal material and throw it on the emitter, come in here, do like a data, I think it's vector, the one I want. Yeah, particles, and do velocity. Yeah, Redshift is pretty young. Like, I mean, it's not. If you listen to the Alan McKay podcast, I think that's the one. They were just on there not too long ago. So you can see it's doing like a velocity map on here now. Sort of. It looks like it's kind of messing it up a little bit. Redshift was saying how they've actually been around since something like 2010 or so. I think that's what they said. Maybe not that old, but they've been around for a lot longer than people think. But it's only been in the past like year and a half where they've really made strides and are making progress as fast as they are, and what people have seen them making progress as fast as they are. Let's see, age. There we go. So this is pulling the age data. Just kind of stop that for a second, let it catch up. And then that should be pulling the information from either here or particle advanced. Let's see. I didn't set any age information, so it's probably just generating it from a gradient. Right? Yeah, because I don't have any age information going. So this just must be the default for like a blue-black to white. Single color, nothing else in here. But if you set your custom data and life information and all that, then you can of course pull that in here and get life to affect the particle information. If I do, let's do size. Yeah, I don't have that set up to really do anything, but life you can definitely see. So you can pull in some information with it. It's just young and they still need to develop it. And like I was showing earlier, you can still get Turbulence FD stuff live, but you can't get it with XParticles live yet. You still have to bake out an OpenVDB. I don't know what kind of programming that takes for them to make it in real time, but that would be great to see that in real time, especially for that like voxelization stuff I was showing before. But yeah, some of this attractor stuff is pretty fun. You can play with the constraints down here, or constants, not constraints. Can't speak today. It's kind of just some like cool sine, cosine, wavy type stuff. So yeah. All right, so it is 3:30 where I'm at. For everyone that's kind of come to hang out and just play along as I explore Redshift, and mostly XParticles, just seeing what it can do. Thanks for hanging out. I'm probably going to do a mini XParticles tutorial released tomorrow or Wednesday. Kind of depends on how my day goes tomorrow with normal work. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will talk to you all soon.